Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive.
where we dig into some really cool resources.
Exactly. Today we're all about helping you absolutely ace your next cook interview.
Yeah, so whether you're just starting out or you've been in the game for a
The
while,
tips are going to be super helpful.
hmm we've got a couple of great guides to help us out today. Cook, the complete career guide, gives you the full rundown on,
Like what it actually means to be a cook.
right, not just like the cooking part, but the whole career path.
Exactly. And then we've got this awesome interview guide. Um, it's called Cook, the complete career interview guide. And it's packed with tips specifically for cook interviews.
Yeah. And just to add a little extra spice,
We'll sprinkle in some insights from RoleCatcher.
it's this AI platform that can seriously level up your job search.
Love it. Okay, so let's jump right in. The career guide, it really emphasizes that being a cook is so much more than just following recipes.
It's true. It's like you're this culinary operative
Creating experiences.
strategizing in a fast-paced environment.
Yeah, you got to think on your feet, be adaptable.
Exactly. And that's something that you really want to highlight during your interview.
Ooh, good point. Because it shows you understand those demands that come with the role.
You're not just there to chop vegetables.
You're there to make magic happen.
Exactly. And speaking of magic,
Let's talk about a question that pops up in pretty much every cook interview.
oh yeah, this one's a classic.
It's in our interview guide too. Describe a time you had to handle a difficult customer or our colleague in the kitchen.
Oh boy, kitchens can be a pressure cooker sometimes, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, how do you show the interviewer that you can stay cool?
Even when things get heated,
Yeah, it's all about those communication skills.
and staying professional no matter what's happening around you.
You got to show them you can handle the heat
And remember, concrete examples are going to be way more powerful.
than just saying, I'm a good communicator.
You got to show them, don't tell them.
Exactly. Now, the interview guide mentions this thing called the STAR method.
Oh yeah, the STAR method, it's a lifesaver.
Situation, task, action, result.
It's like a recipe for structuring your answer.
Ooh, I like that.
Eh.
So, how would you apply that to this tricky customer or colleague question?
Okay, so let's say you had a situation where a colleague just wasn't pulling their weight during a super busy dinner rush.
Yeah, like orders are piling up
Chaos everywhere.
and you're short-staffed.
Using the STAR method, you'd start by describing that situation, the packed restaurant, the stress level.
Really paint that picture for them.
Then you outline your specific task in that moment
Like making sure all the orders were completed on time.
to the right standard despite being a person down.
Okay. So you've
Yeah.
set the scene. You've explained your responsibility in that crazy situation. What comes next?
All right, then you describe the action you took.
Like, did you yell at your colleague?
No. You gotta stay professional. Maybe you calmly approached them, offered some help
Maybe you redistributed some tasks.
to make sure everything was flowing smoothly.
It's like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. And finally, you highlight the positive result.
Like all the orders went out on time.
Customers were happy.
And you showed you could lead even when things got tough.
Boom. Mic drop.
Right. That's a fantastic example, and it really shows the interviewer.
That you can handle those tricky interpersonal dynamics.
Yet are bound to happen in a busy kitchen.
For sure, because kitchens are all about teamwork.
Okay, let's dish up another question that's crucial for any cook.
This one's all about efficiency.
It's about keeping things running smoothly even when the pressure's on. You ready for this?
Hit me with it.
How do you manage your time effectively in the kitchen?
Oh man, this one's so important because a chaotic kitchen,
Can quickly turn into a disaster.
right, like a culinary train wreck.
So this question is really all about showcasing.
Your organizational skills and your ability to prioritize
Like how you handled juggling a million things at once.
without dropping any of the metaphorical plates
Think about how you break down those complex tasks.
into manageable steps.
Like maybe you prep ingredients in advance.
You anticipate those bottlenecks during service. You use timers to keep track of all those dishes cooking at the same time.
Right. It's like you're conducting an orchestra of flavors.
And again, specific examples are gold here.
Instead of just saying, I'm organized.
Walk the interviewer through a time when your organizational skills really saved the day.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes, like you prevented a major delay during a catering event.
Or you expertly juggled a sudden influx of orders during the dinner rush.
It's all about proving that you can handle
the fast-paced nature of the kitchen.
while still maintaining that accuracy and quality.
You know, it's interesting. RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you analyze.
Oh, tell me more about this.
It's pretty cool. So you can record yourself answering practice questions like this one.
Okay.
And RoleCatcher's AI will analyze your video,
Whoa.
giving you feedback on things like your pacing,
So it's not just about what you say, but how you say it.
Exactly. It'll even look at your body language.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
It is, and it can even help you tailor your answers to specific job roles.
So you're not just giving a generic response.
You're hitting all the right notes for each interview.
Okay, I'm sold. RoleCatcher is officially on my radar.
It's a game changer for sure.
All right, let's keep this culinary train rolling with another question,
Okay, this one's becoming increasingly important these days.
especially with all the different dietary needs and preferences out there.
Right.
So are you ready for this one?
Hit me.
All right. How do you handle a situation where a customer has a food allergy or dietary restriction?
Ooh, this is a good one.
This goes way beyond just knowing your ingredients right.
Absolutely.
You have to show that you're really paying attention to detail.
You know those food safety protocols like the back of your hand?
You're committed to creating
A safe and enjoyable dining experience for every single guest.
no matter their dietary needs.
Right.
So what kind of specific example would really wow the interviewer here?
Okay, let's say you're working in a restaurant
Okay.
and a customer mentions they have a severe nut allergy.
Oh, yeah. Those can be really serious.
You wouldn't just double check the ingredients of their chosen dish.
You'd go above and beyond.
Exactly, you'd inform the whole kitchen team about the allergy.
So everyone's aware.
And you'd make sure the meal was prepared on a separate, clean surface to avoid any cross-contamination.
Those great points.
And then you'd personally deliver that dish to the customer.
Making sure they felt completely comfortable and safe.
That kind of attention to detail would really impress any interviewer.
For sure. It shows you're proactive
That you're a team player.
and that you genuinely care about your customer's well-being,
And it really highlights something the career guide mentioned.
which is
That successful cooks aren't just skilled in the kitchen.
they're excellent communicators too,
They understand that clear and thorough communication is key.
both with their colleagues and with the customers they serve.
You're not just cooking in isolation,
They're part of a team.
and you're creating an experience for your guests.
That's such a great point, and it actually reminds me of another common interview question.
Oh yeah, which one?
The classic teamwork question. Can you describe a time when you had to work as part of a team to achieve a specific goal in the kitchen?
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
It does, but this question is all about showing
How you collaborate effectively,
how you contribute your unique skills,
and how you handle any conflicts that might arise within a team setting.
because, let's face it, kitchens can get a little intense sometimes.
And again, specific examples are key.
Instead of just saying, I'm a team player,
Think of a time when you and your team had to overcome a challenge.
or maybe you achieved something amazing together
Maybe it was a crazy busy night when everyone had to step up,
and support each other
or perhaps it was a collaborative effort,
to develop a new menu item.
or streamline a kitchen process.
I love that because it shows the interviewer that you understand the value of teamwork,
And that you can thrive in that collaborative environment.
which is essential in any kitchen setting.
It all ties back to that culinary operative mindset we were talking about earlier.
You're not just executing your individual tasks,
You're understanding how your role contributes to the bigger picture
and you're willing to work together.
to achieve shared success.
Now, before we move on to more of those juicy interview questions,
I think we should take a little detour.
ooh, I love detours.
Let's talk about career progression for a moment.
Okay, so the career guide, it really emphasizes that being a cook,
It's not just a dead-end job.
right? There's a whole ladder you can climb,
From line cook to prep cook.
to sous chef to head chef.
Maybe even owning your own restaurant someday.
Now, interviewers often want to see that you're ambitious.
That you're not just looking for any kitchen job.
You're looking to grow within the culinary field.
You're seeing the bigger picture.
So how do you showcase that ambition?
Without sounding like you're already eyeing the head chef's position.
Right, like you got to strike that balance.
It's all about framing your answers in a way.
That shows you're eager to learn and contribute.
For example, if you're asked about your long-term goals, you could say something like, right now, I'm really excited to hone my skills and contribute as a cook, but I'm also fascinated by menu development. And down the line, I'd love to explore that side of the culinary world, maybe even working towards a leadership role.
I love that because it shows you're ambitious, but also realistic.
You're focused on the present, but you're also looking ahead.
It tells the interviewer that you're invested in your own growth.
And that you're in it for the long haul.
Okay. And speaking of valuable tools,
Ooh, Ooh, let's loop back to RoleCatcher for a sec.
Yes, I was hoping we would.
They don't just offer that awesome AI-powered feedback.
Right.
They also have this amazing feature called Get Discovered.
Yeah, I've heard whispers about this.
It's like having a personal recruiter working for you 24/7.
Seriously, tell me more.
So you create this detailed profile highlighting your skills and experience,
Okay.
and then employers can actually search for candidates like you.
And reach out directly.
Exactly. It takes some of the pressure off the job search.
Because you're not just sending out your resume into the void.
Right. It opens up opportunities you might not have even known about.
That's incredible. It flips the script on the whole job hunting process.
It's not just about you finding the right job.
It's about the right job finding you.
And it speaks to something that's becoming super important in today's world,
Which is?
having a strong online presence.
Ooh, good point. Whether you're a chef or a software developer.
Putting yourself out there online can really make a difference.
Okay, but for now, let's get back to those interview questions.
Because we've got a lot more ground to cover.
This one always seems to come up. Why did you choose to become a cooking?
It seems straightforward, but it's easy to fall into those cliche answers.
Oh yeah, like I love food.
I'm passionate about cooking.
I want to make people happy.
While those sentiments are lovely,
They don't really tell the interviewer anything unique about you.
right, they've heard it all before.
So what kind of answer would really make someone stand out from the crowd?
Think about what truly drew you to the culinary world.
Yeah, like what's your story?
Was there a specific experience that sparked your passion?
Or a person who inspired you?
A particular cuisine that just blew your mind?
Maybe you have a vivid memory of helping your grandma bake when you were a kid
Or maybe you traveled to a foreign country.
and fell in love with the local flavors.
It's all about sharing a genuine story
That connects your personal experience.
to your culinary aspirations.
I love that because it shows the interviewer that you're not just following a trend.
You have a real deep-seated passion for food.
And you can even tie it back to the specific job you're interviewing for.
Ooh, that's a good tip.
Like if you're applying for a position at an Italian restaurant,
You could talk about your love of Italian cuisine,
maybe you were inspired by a trip to Italy.
or a particular Italian chef you admire.
I love that. It shows the interviewer that you're not just looking for any cooking job.
You have a genuine interest in their establishment.
And the type of food they serve,
And it demonstrates that you've put some thought into your career path.
you're not just winging it.
You're intentional about your choices.
All right, let's tackle another question that often pops up.
Ooh, this one can be a bit tricky.
It's the classic strengths and weaknesses question.
What are your strengths and weaknesses as a cook?
This one always feels a bit awkward.
It can be, but it's a necessary question.
So how do you approach it without feeling like you're bragging or putting yourself down?
The key here is to be honest, but also strategic.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
When you're talking about your strengths,
Okay.
focus on skills that are directly relevant to the role.
And back them up with specific examples.
Exactly. Don't just say, I'm a fast learner.
Show them how you're a fast learner.
For example, you might say, I'm really good at working quickly and efficiently under pressure, and I learned how to make 5 different pasta sauces in just 1 week at my previous job.
I love that example because it's specific and it's impressive.
And it shows that you're not just throwing around buzzwords.
Okay, so strengths we've got that covered. What about weaknesses? No one wants to highlight their flaws in an interview.
I know it feels counterintuitive, but everyone has areas where they can improve.
True.
The key is to choose a weakness
That isn't critical to the job.
and then frame it in a positive light.
Ooh, good strategy.
For example, you might say,
Give me an example.
I sometimes get overly focused on perfecting a single dish and need to be more mindful of the overall flow of service.
Ah, I see what you mean.
You're acknowledging an area for growth
But you're also showing that you're self-aware.
and that you're committed to continuous improvement.
Brilliant. And you can even mention steps you're taking to address that weakness,
Like using timers to stay on track.
or actively seeking feedback from your colleagues.
It shows the interviewer that you're not only aware of your areas for improvement,
But you're also proactive about developing your skills,
and it ties back to that concept of lifelong learning,
which is so crucial in the culinary world.
where trends are constantly evolving.
And new techniques are always emerging.
You got to stay curious.
Okay, one last question before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay, bring it on.
What is your experience with different cooking techniques and cuisines?
Ooh, this is where you get to showcase your culinary repertoire.
This is your moment to shine,
Think about all the different cooking methods you're proficient in.
like grilling, sautéing, braising, baking,
Mention any specialized equipment you're familiar with.
like a smoker or a pasta maker.
And don't forget to mention any experience you have with different cuisines.
Have you worked in a French bistro?
An Italian trattoria?
A Thai restaurant?
Have you experimented with vegan or gluten-free cooking?
The more diverse your culinary background,
The more appealing you'll be to potential employers.
it shows that you're adaptable
You're eager to learn.
and you're not afraid of a challenge.
And even if you don't have extensive professional experience with a particular cuisine,
You can still mention your personal interest.
or any independent exploration you've done,
Have you taken cooking classes?
experimented with recipes at home,
Traveled to different countries to try new foods?
it's all about showing the interviewer
That you have a genuine love of food.
and that you're constantly seeking to expand your culinary horizons.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We've talked about how to approach those common interview questions
The importance of specific examples,
and demonstrating your skills and personality.
and we've touched on how RoleCatcher can be a total game changer,
In your job search, helping you craft amazing responses.
and even connecting you with potential employers.
But don't worry, we're just getting started.
We'll be back in part 2 to dig into even more interview tips.
And explore how to really make your passion for cooking shine through. Welcome back. Ready to dive into some more of those interview questions?
Absolutely, I'm feeling inspired already.
Me too. And you know what I love about these questions?
What's that?
They really give you a glimpse into a potential cook's mindset.
Oh yeah, like how they approach challenges.
Exactly. And this next one is a perfect example. Describe a time you had to make a difficult decision in the kitchen,
Ooh, this could be anything from adjusting a recipe on the fly,
to handling a conflict between team members.
or dealing with a sudden shortage of ingredients,
It's all about those problem-solving skills.
and thinking critically under pressure.
Kitchens can be unpredictable,
So you got to be able to adapt and make decisions quickly.
but also thoughtfully.
Right. You don't want to just jump into a solution without considering all the angles
Exactly. You got to weigh your options
and make a choice that benefits the whole team.
and the overall success of the service.
So what kind of example would really showcase those qualities to an interviewer?
Okay, imagine this. You're prepping for a busy dinner service,
Okay.
and you suddenly realize one of the key ingredients for a popular dish is missing.
Oh no, the dreaded missing ingredient scenario.
It happens, but here's the thing. You don't panic.
You stay calm.
You assess the situation.
You consider possible substitutions.
Maybe you consult with the head chef or a senior team member.
And you come up with a creative solution
That preserves the integrity of the dish.
without compromising quality or delaying service.
That's what I'm talking about. Resourcefulness under pressure.
And it shows that you're a team player.
You don't try to go it alone.
You're willing to collaborate and find the best solution together.
And it highlights something the career guide really emphasizes. Adaptability is key in a kitchen environment.
Oh yeah, because things rarely go exactly according to plan.
So being able to adjust, improvise, think on your feet.
Those are essential skills for any CAC,
It's about being a problem solver.
not a problem creator,
Exactly. You want to be the person who finds solutions.
not the person who adds to the chaos.
Okay, let's move on to another question that can sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable,
Oh yeah, this one's always a bit awkward.
but it's got to be asked. What are your salary expectations?
I hate this question.
I know it can be tough, but it's a necessary part of the process.
So how do you approach it without feeling like you're asking for too much or too little?
The best thing you can do is research beforehand.
Oh yeah, good point. Know your worth.
Use resources like RoleCatcher's Salary Insights or websites like Glassdoor.
To get a sense of the average salary range for cook positions in your area.
That way you're not going in blind.
You have a realistic number in mind.
But what if the interviewer's offer is lower than you expected?
That's always a tough spot.
That's where negotiation comes in.
Oh yeah, the art of the negotiation.
Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself.
But always do it respectfully and professionally.
You might say something like, based on my experience and the skills I bring to the table, I was hoping for a salary closer to your desired range.
I love that. It's assertive, but also respectful.
It's about finding that balance
Knowing your worth, but also being flexible.
and understanding that salary isn't the only factor to consider.
Right. It's also about the work environment
The opportunities for growth.
and the overall fit with the company culture.
Speaking of fit, let's talk about a question that can really make or break an interview.
Okay, I'm intrigued,
This one comes at the end of the interview, and it's often overlooked.
but it's super important.
Do you have any questions for us?
Oh yeah, this isn't just a formality.
It's your chance to show that you're genuinely interested.
And that you've been paying attention.
It's also an opportunity to gather some valuable information.
About the role of the company, the team.
So instead of asking generic questions like, what are the hours?
Or what's the pay?
Focus on questions that demonstrate your interest in the specific establishment.
And the team you'd be joining.
For example, you could ask, what opportunities are there for professional development within the kitchen?
Ooh, that's a good one. It shows you're thinking long-term.
Or you could ask, can you describe the team dynamic and the overall culture of the kitchen?
I love that. It shows you care about the people you'll be working with.
And you can even tie your questions back to something the interviewer mentioned earlier.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great tip. It shows you're actively listening.
And that you're genuinely engaged in the conversation.
Okay, before we move on, let's circle back to RoleCatcher for a moment.
Oh, yes. They have so many amazing resources.
It's like that massive database of practice interview questions.
Over 120,000 questions. It's insane.
It's like having a cheat sheet for every possible scenario.
And the best part is they're tailored to specific job roles.
So if you're interviewing for a cook position,
you'll get questions that are directly relevant to those skills and experience.
And you can actually practice answering those questions using RoleCatcher's platform.
Record yourself, get feedback, refine your responses.
It's like having a mock interview whenever you need it.
Okay, let's tackle another common interview question that can be a bit intimidating.
Okay, hit me with it.
Tell me about a time you failed in the kitchen.
Oh, man. No one likes to talk about their mistakes.
I know it can be tough, but remember, everyone makes mistakes.
Especially in a fast-paced environment like a kitchen.
What interviewers are really looking for here is your ability to learn from those mistakes.
To show growth and resilience.
So it's not about pretending you're perfect.
It's about being honest and showcasing your willingness to improve.
Okay, so let's say you were responsible for prepping a large batch of sauce.
Okay.
And you accidentally added way too much salt.
Oh no, the dreaded salty sauce situation.
It happens, but instead of trying to hide the mistake,
You own up to it.
you immediately inform the head chef.
You brainstorm solutions together.
And you find a way to salvage the sauce.
Maybe by adding more of the other ingredients to balance out the saltiness.
Exactly. It shows you take responsibility for your actions.
That you're a team player.
And that you can think on your feet and find creative solutions.
And it highlights a key quality that employers look for in any candidate. Honesty.
Trying to cover up a mistake or downplaying your role in it.
That's never a good look.
Owning up to your errors and showing how you learned from them.
That's what makes a positive impression.
Okay, let's move on to a question that often comes up towards the end of an interview.
Okay, this is our chance to really seal the deal.
It's your closing argument. Why should we hire you for this cook position?
This is where you get to summarize your skills and experience.
Reiterate your passion for cooking.
And highlight what makes you uniquely qualified for the role.
It's not just about repeating your resume.
It's about connecting the dots for the interviewer.
And showing them how your qualifications align with their specific needs. You might say something like, I'm confident that my skills in mention-specific cooking techniques and my experience with mention-relevant cuisines make me a perfect fit for this role. I'm a quick learner. I'm passionate about creating delicious food, and I'm eager to contribute to the success of this kitchen.
I love that. It's concise, it's confident.
And it reiterates your key qualifications.
While also expressing your genuine interest in the position.
And remember, even if you're feeling nervous,
Try to maintain that positive and enthusiastic tone.
your passion for cooking should shine through.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive.
We've explored some of those tougher interview questions.
Talked about salary negotiations.
And even touched on the importance of asking thoughtful questions yourself.
And we've highlighted how RoleCatcher can be an invaluable resource.
Throughout the entire job search process.
From crafting your resume to practicing your answers.
And even connecting you with potential employers.
And we're back for the final part of our cook interview prep deep dive. Feeling prepped and ready to tackle those questions.
I hope so. We've covered a lot of ground, but there's always more to learn. Remember, the career guide isn't just about landing the job.
It's about thriving once you're in that kitchen.
Exactly. It's about understanding the whole ecosystem.
Like the kitchen hierarchy and the different roles.
You know, the sous chefs, the chef de parties, the whole shebang.
And, of course, the importance of food safety regulations.
Those HACCP guidelines are no joke.
Knowing those ins and outs really shows you're serious about this profession.
It's about demonstrating that commitment to excellence.
And speaking of excellence.
Let's talk about something we haven't touched on enough yet. RoleCatcher's Copilot AI.
Oh, yeah. I've been curious about this.
This is where things get really interesting for those who want to take their prep to the next level.
So what makes Copilot AI so special?
Imagine this. You're practicing your interview answers, but you're not just recording yourself. You're getting real-time feedback from AI.
Whoa, that's next level.
Copilot AI analyzes your videos and gives you feedback specific to a cook role.
Like what kind of feedback?
It'll tell you if you're using the right industry terms, if your body language is confident but not cocky. It's like having a culinary mentor critiquing your every move.
But digitally.
Exactly. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued, but I'm guessing this is part of their paid features, right?
It is, but even the free version of RoleCatcher is packed with value. The tailored job board, the Get Discovered feature.
Those are game changers on their own.
But Copilot AI is like taking your prep from simmer to full boil.
Okay, I'm adding it to my to-do list.
You won't regret it. It's that extra edge that can make all the difference.
But even with all the best prep in the world,
There's always that one thing you can't fully predict in an interview.
the curveball question.
The interviewer's secret weapon.
The moment that throws you completely off guard.
And there's no way to prepare for every possibility.
So how do you even approach a question that you have absolutely no answer for?
First of all, don't panic.
Easier said than done sometimes.
I know, but it's important to remember that it's not about having the right answer. It's about how you handle the unexpected.
So it's about showing your thought process
Your ability to think on your feet.
and your willingness to engage in a thoughtful discussion.
Exactly. You might even say something like, "That's a really interesting question. Let me think about that for a moment."
That buys you some time to collect your thoughts.
And it shows the interviewer that you're not just spitting out rehearsed answers.
You're actually engaging with the question.
And you can even use that thinking time to connect the question back to something you've already discussed.
Ooh, that's clever. It shows you can synthesize information and make connections.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to touch on something the career guide highlighted.
Something that applies to pretty much every interview question.
Enthusiasm.
Yes. Skills and experience are important.
But don't underestimate the power of genuine passion.
The culinary world is all about passion. It's about the love of food, the creativity, the energy.
That spark is contagious.
Interviewers can sense it a mile away.
So how do you infuse that enthusiasm into your answers without going overboard?
It's a delicate balance.
It's about letting your genuine love for cooking shine through.
When you talk about your experience, your skills, even your challenges.
Let that excitement be evident in your voice, in your words, in your overall demeanor.
I love that it's not about putting on a show. It's about letting your authentic passion guide you.
And remember, an interview is a two-way street.
It's not just about them assessing you.
It's also about you assessing them.
Do they seem passionate about their establishment?
Do they value their team?
Do their values align with yours?
It's about finding the right fit.
A place where you can learn, grow, and thrive as a culinary professional.
And speaking of thriving, remember, landing the job is just the beginning.
The career guide is full of insights.
About navigating kitchen dynamics, continuing your education, even exploring different culinary career paths.
It's like having a roadmap for your entire culinary journey.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I have one final question for you, dear listener.
Okay, I'm ready.
Imagine you've landed that interview, you're prepped, you're confident, and they ask, what one dish would you cook to showcase your skills and passion?
Ooh, that's a great question. What would it be?
Let that question simmer as you continue your culinary journey, and remember, with the right preparation, the right mindset, and a dash of that RoleCatcher magic,
You've got all the ingredients you need to succeed. We're excited to see what delicious creations you bring to the world. Best of luck and bon appetit.